So yeah, for those of you that missed the video that I put out yesterday in regards to the start of this, like I said, straightforward Bruins franchise. We are technically restarting it because, of course, when I recorded that video this morning, Trevor Zegras hadn't signed yet. So we have added in the whole Trevor Zegras thing. But yeah, in terms of the menu itself for franchise mode, it looks identical. But again, every time, I'm a tremendous curse. Again, there are under-the-hood things that have changed about this mode that you won't see at first glance, is the only way that I can really put it. At least there's dark mode, though, to not absolutely blind the hell out of me. So I am appreciative of that. Free agents, by the way, I'm probably not going to do anything. Drysdale's an RFA, because obviously the Ducks haven't signed him in real life, so is Shane Pinto. But again, they are still attached to their team. And for example, if I go to Jamie Drysdale, again, it showcases, the asking price, and at a certain point too, it'll show you like what the qualifying offer is for that particular team if they are yours and you are negotiating with them. Yeah, Patrick Kane rocking a 89 overall in 2023, the year of our Lord. Remember when I said that the ratings in this game are a little bit wonky? 87 defensive awareness, Patrick Kane. Sure thing. Sure thing. Oh, goodness. But he's just been on bad teams. The Selke sleeper, Patrick Kane. Yeah, we're probably not going to sign anybody because, honestly, we really don't need to. There's a couple of medium fringe prospects out there at the start, but again, it's nothing too crazy. And in a general sense, I am still trying to ignore as much about the rosters as I possibly can because they are so bad. And we'll hold off on coaching staff and everything like that too. Again, draft class, there's a lot of missing dudes that EA don't have the rights to add in. Despite putting the quality on low, it still generated 4 dudes to bump medium elite Tanner Howe out of the top 6. So still don't get as much control over draft class quality as I would hope, but hey, it is what it is. So let us set up the Season 1 Bruins team. Like I said, this whole franchise is going to serve as like, I'm going to try to win, but we also want to test out aspects of franchise mode this year and see what kind of works, what doesn't, what they will hopefully touch up upon again. Here's hoping. And again, obviously, for those that missed it, there is now a +4 as opposed to just 1, 3, and 5. There is now a +4 to try to help the AI not be as dumb about certain things. I need to get Lauko in this lineup instead of Patrick Brown. So, honestly, 4th liner Trent Frederick. That is a gritty 4th line. Have I seen how Sins butchered the Bruins? I haven't directly, but I am well aware that great friend of the channel, co-host of the Tukey Steak podcast, Sim for the Win Productions on YouTube, is also running a Bruins franchise because he didn't think that I was going to. So that worked out well. That worked out pretty well. Shout out to Button for the Fall, A-Greens on the 8 months, by the way. Thank you very much for that. And how the heck are you? And honestly, this is... I'm probably just going to run DeBrusque on the right because he does play the right on occasion. That is probably what we are starting with here on this team. It's not overly pretty, to say the least. It's not the prettiest look for the Boston Bruins heading into this upcoming season. You need to do the Sharks. I'll have to at some point. By the way, I missed the comment and whose name it was. For those who are asking about Brandon Bussy's handedness, catches left. So, yeah. Has anything changed in regards to scouting? No! I hate to tell you, the answer to that question is often going to be no. Aussie, we do. It's already out of date because of the Zegras signing, but I do have a base level roster update out that had some of the moves that happened prior to today. So, really quickly then. So if I want to test out just how well the depth chart works, I want to test that out. I mean, the Bruins need a top 6 forward. Is this game worth full price? I mean, the full disclosure, I don't have to pay for it. If I had to, I would not get it at launch. And that's pretty much my standpoint with any yearly sports game, is more often than not, you probably don't need the brand new one at launch. That's just the fact to it. Was there anything that wasn't talked about in the franchise notes? Nope, that was pretty much it. Unfortunately. So if we go, like I said, I still want to test this out. Normally I wouldn't use this. That's interesting. It's sorted that by value. That 2025 first rounder. I could put that on the block. Is there anything else? I mean, honestly, Fabian Lysell, one of the Bruins, if not the Bruins' best prospect right now. Matt Poitras is having a pretty damn good preseason. But those are pretty much the two most valuable assets that we have at this stage. I will consider all of our future picks surplus as well. And if we go to the wants, we're not really too worried about future picks, but we'll just fully open that up so that teams actually offer us draft picks in these trades. But the biggest thing that we need is a first or second line forward, let's be honest. So just in general, offer us a first or a second line forward so we can get a little bit more scoring on this team. Please and thank you. And we'll see how well the AI listens to our trade block. So, Brandon Carlo was roughed up. That's fine. And we are ready to go for the start of this season. And again, we'll see what the injuries happen to look like, so on and so forth. I do want to take a look. Like I said, I've poked around with this a little bit before today, but not a ton. Connor Bedard, of course, will be in Chicago's lineup. No gold X factor for him, though, is still weird. 90, 94, 92, 86, 84, 80. Those ratings are still a little bit wonky. Franchise is my go-to game mode. I do play a lot of club as well. World of Chell, Ishal, call it what you will. Don't do as much on the hut side of things anymore as I used to. Just because it's Ultimate Team's not good for your mental health. It's really not. The best, like, at least if you're going to play the game, play it with friends in club. You know, that's the best way. But yeah, a lot of franchise mode on this channel. A lot. Let's get into simming. I'm not too worried about checking out gameplay just yet. Although if we find out we're not going to make it to the playoffs, I will jump in, see what AI versus AI looks like in this game. I don't expect it to be drastically different, but then again, wow, Chicago shut us out 3-0. That happens in real life. I'm going to cry. That's going to be rough. Brandon Carlo already hurts. And you cannot convince me that they have Kevin Hayes set up. Peppa, if you want to look at what the line combos for other teams look like, check out the first episode of this on YouTube. I go through all the teams. I don't really want to do it again. But it does give you a look at what teams line up as. You got to be kidding me that they want a first and Lysell for Kevin Hayes. He is listed as a second line. Wow, he's an 85? Okay, I mean, I guess I can see it. He was good last year. The year before, the injury problems. Yeah, no, I'm not giving up a first and a prospect for 3 years of Kevin Hayes, although he's not on that bad of a deal. If you want a streamer who will break franchise mode, welcome home. No kidding. I'm already willing to say that the injury sliders staying on... Yep, okay, so the injury sliders staying on 50, I do not recommend it. Good Lord. That is 3 decent injuries, and the season just started. So, yeah, let's call up former UMaine Black Bear Dan Renouf. And we'll go best lines for now until everyone on the team is healthy. But that's a bit excessive. That's a bit excessive. So we'll go ahead and stop that. We've lost to Chicago twice. GG's. GG's, boys. Season's over. Pick for Bruins captain. No, after Marchand's gone, it's Charlie McAvoy. Will there be another franchise where Chat can do stuff? Probably, yeah. I had a lot of fun with that. I understand why it wouldn't be as fun for people who can't be here in real time, but I always have fun with the more challenging series that we have, even if it's kind of ridiculous. I do still prefer it that way. Scoring's on medium with high shot generation, which is the new default for this year's game. Yeah, scoring is on medium to kick things off. And we might be playing with injuries off for a good amount of time this season. Doesn't look like any adjustments have been made. You just go to April, it's fine. Doesn't look like any adjustments have been made in regard to injury consistency. First round pick for David Perron, huh? There were supposed to be changes to how the power play and PK lines look. I'm going to take a look kind of midway through the season to see if that's actually the case. First round pick for David Perron. I mean, it's at least accurate to what I was asking for. He is a second line forward. I'm not going to do that yet because buying with this team might not be a very good decision. And now Detroit's not going to leave me alone. I don't know how JT Compher would be worth that, even with the third and the fourth, but it's not the most inaccurate offer in the world. So, Radim Shimmick on waivers. Yeah, we won't be picking up Radim. I'm sorry. Fabian Lysell in a fifth for Victor Olofsson in a third. It's not a terrible offer based on how they have Olofsson rated. I'm obviously not going to take it, though. Derek Forbort's back in the lineup. All right, month into the season, both the Bruins and Leafs 4-6. Pasternak is looking good so far. I know the progress reports are being asked about a lot. I don't think we would have had enough actual progress throughout the season to see any improvement. Yeah, we haven't, but just remind me at the end of the season to take a look at it again, and we can. Shout out to Jay Koenig, by the way. It's time for my yearly question. When am I going to play Football Manager? I tried to play last year's version, man. It's, I'm a basic bitch when it comes to franchise modes, as I discovered. I have to put the work in to understand what the hell I'm doing in Football Manager. So, give it time. I will try again one of these days, but for now, I need to hit the textbooks. So, yeah, I played it like 1 or 2 nights trying to figure it out. There is quite the learning curve to it, but I can see why once you learn it, people stick to it. You know, shout out, by the way. Trying to speak too quickly. Shout out to Broccoli for the sub. Thank you. Welcome in. Appreciate that. Charlie Coyle's hurt. Mark McLaughlin's hurt. Even on 10, there's still a fair amount of injuries, huh? Okay. Like I said, this is my first season that I'm simming, testing certain things out. Lysell for draft picks. Not something that I'm interested in. Lysell for draft picks, again, not something I'm really interested in. See what's up. Broccoli, hey, welcome in. Like I said, you know how I mentioned a second ago how my streaming time's not great for everybody? Yeah, but welcome. Thank you for the support on the YouTube side of things. Appreciate it. You left it at 15, though. Well, that's what I'm saying, is with the injuries, they were at 10 or 15, and we're still seeing a good amount of them. I could have sworn I put it at 10. Maybe I did put it at 15. But that's normally what I'd set it to last year, and the injuries weren't that bad. So, we are in January, halfway through the season. Let's see what's going on around the league, shall we? Let's see. You wouldn't get married this year if you stuck with Football Manager. Honestly, that's part of the reason, man. There have been a lot of games to come out this year, not even sports titles, that it's like, man, I just can't. The Starfields of the world, the Diablos of the world, it's like, man, I just don't have the time. I just don't. So, just about at the halfway point of the season for everybody in the Atlantic, it is Tampa leading the way. Montreal still towards the bottom here. Buffalo in a wild card spot right now. The Metro is Columbus. The Mike Babcock effect, am I right? Oh, wait, he got fired. Shouldn't have gotten hired in the first place. Alan Wake 2 is out a week later. Yeah, Spider-Man, Alan Wake 2. I will play Alan Wake 2 eventually. I really enjoyed the first one. Even though I'm, again, a gigantic bitch when it comes to horror games. So, please tell me re-signing players and coaches isn't as slow as the Creation Zone slider. You'll find out in a second. Mr. Webster! Good to see you. How the heck are ya? Chicago 40-40. Nashville's not looking too hot. To be honest, it's probably going to be Nashville in real life. They're in a really weird spot. Vancouver leading the Pacific Division just before the halfway point. Call it a hunch. I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, theoretically, it could if they all play to their best. The Columbus Blue Jackets are the second best team in the NHL on points percentage right now. That's certainly something that could happen. I guess. It's unlikely, but it could. God, Pasta, 46 points, 38 games. He's a -1. Let's take a look around the league. So leading forwards. Well, I already see one thing people will be mad about. Where's Connor? I had to get the game early. I have an affiliation with EA. So I was given access to the game, 24 hours early or so? Comes out for everybody tomorrow at noon, at least for those of you that pre-ordered. I haven't seen anyone develop an X Factor yet. We are going to be keeping an eye on that. The main person to keep an eye on is Connor Bedard. If it doesn't happen with him, it's not going to happen to anybody. So, goodness. Let's see. Top goal scorers. Bedard's up there with 21. He's got 44 points in 40 games. Panarin is not bald, unfortunately. Unfortunately. Let's go see if McDavid is hurt. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, what do you even say to that, you know? Shout out to Warrior for the gifted sub, by the way. God. It might be a long year for us franchise mode players. It might be. There was a chance, but hey, at least he'll win the Selkie.
What was that?
Brent, I have it a little bit early, but it comes out tomorrow for those that pre-ordered. Obviously, we have to go check Edmonton's lines. Obviously, we got to go take a look. By the way, Chicago is rocking. Wow, Bedard's up to an 88 right now. Morale's on, but still. Playing him with Hall and Radish. McDavid's on the top line with Draisaitl and Hyman. And on the top power play unit with Draisaitl, Nuge, Hyman, and Evan Bouchard. Oh, goodness, what lines are Vancouver running? Again, I'm not going to check every set of lines, but I am willing to check Vancouver, given that they were doing well, and it's pretty much what you would expect for the Vancouver side of things. So, yeah, there's some questionable things, but we're only midway through the season. Galeno Fantilli is not in the game yet. I already know that's where you're going. He is in my game and with my rosters because I added him in. But yeah, he is not in the game yet. Oh, I meant like Patrick. Oh, fair. Maybe they were the ones to sign Patrick Kane. Nope. They're good enough as it is. Who needs Patrick Kane? Who needs him? When you have Johnny Gaudreau. Hedman over a point per game. Erik Karlsson over a point per game. Rasmus Anderson's doing pretty well. We got for goal scorers 10 and 40 for Roman Josi. That's a little bit low. And then goalie-wise, Merzlikins the winningest. Jonathan Quick has a 933 and 14 appearances among starters, a 921 for Stuart Skinner. And in the rookie race, midway point of the season, again, I added in Logan Cooley. He is not in the game right now. My freaking nose itches like crazy. Yeah. So, Logan Cooley, I added him in. He is not in the game, nor is Adam Fantilli. So, why is Carlson on the Flames? He's not. He's not, though. Let's keep it going. Now that we know that Connor McDavid doesn't sim at all. That's great. That's great. First little dip into franchise this year. And Connor McDavid is well under a point per game by January. Oh, goodness. Goodness. I can't believe McDavid was simming that badly. I mean, I guess I can believe it, but I don't want to believe it, you know? Yeah, I don't want Andre Palat's contract. Thank you. Thank you. Brad Marchand fractures his jaw. At least it's not his nose. He'd never recover. First on the sell for conference. All right, trade block does seem to at least be generating logical offers based off of what I'm doing, so that's not too bad. But yeah, did I copy Sin or did Sin copy you? So we talked about that. Today's podcast isn't out yet. It'll be out tomorrow. We talked about that, and we just both came to the conclusion of using the Bruins. He didn't think I'd be using them, which was a fair assumption because I didn't necessarily plan on using them until I realized that EA did put in their new look. And I said, I'm going to use them. So, a happy coincidence. Happy coincidence. Am I going to pay attention to playoff baseball? I'd say so. Obviously, you know, my team's not in it. But okay, I meant to stop before that. We'll list ourselves as buyers. It's fine. Let's take a look at ye old trade deadline then. I do need to take a look at where we are in the standings. The Blues are already trying to sell their captain and everybody else on their team. You got Philip Deneau, Spencer Knight. If we take a look at ye old Stat Central, 34, 29, and 2. On pace to potentially sneak into the playoffs, and I want to keep this team as competitive for as long as possible, so we really should take a look at who we might be able to pick up. Specifically on expiring deals, I really don't want term. Someone like Anthony Duclair wouldn't be that bad. Trent Frederick, a 5th and a 6th, a 3rd, a 4th, and Lauco, LaSalle, and a 3rd. That's a lot. The Blue Jays welcome you. I mean, I'll be rooting for someone who either hasn't won in a really long time or for a first-time winner. So, why is the clock not moving? It is now, so maybe it wasn't a second ago, but it was there. Let's take a look who's out there. Jonathan Taves went to Anaheim. Good to know. Love me some Adam Henrique. Is the gameplay better? Dumba traded to Toronto for a first-round pick and Topi Niemela. Jesus. It is very similar in a lot of ways. I do think it is a bit better. I haven't seen it in a like World Chell scenario, though. I've really only seen it from an AI versus AI perspective at this stage. So, let's see. Jason Zucker. How's he doing this year? He's not doing too bad. Calgary reacquires Sean Monahan. Beautiful. Let's see. Jeremy Poirier. Noel Gunler. Corey Perry is on the block. I mean, if I had the cap space, that wouldn't be the worst. Oh, good. Eric Goodbranson. Who wouldn't want Eric Goodbranson on their team? Detroit looking to sell off quite a few of their pieces. The David Perron trade would make the most sense. Tanner Jeannot back to Nashville. Oh, this trade logic is hilarious. Beautiful. They did adjust contracts and how much players ask for. Thank God. Let's see, Victor Arvidsson's out there. Holy hell, why does Trevor Moore have that value? Sheesh. Nick Patan, Vinny Lettieri, Tanner Pearson. Detroit's made a deal. Ghost Bear to Winnipeg. Tyson Barrie, McDonough, Shen. Andre Palat. It doesn't look like there's going to be the crazy... Mark down a note to double check Ottawa here in a minute. I might have just stumbled upon something that I'm not going to be too happy with. So, Centaur to 10 hours aren't up yet, so I don't know. Duclair at 85 actually is tied for the highest rated player. Braden Shen, but again, he's got that brutal contract. Get Eric Chernak. I'm guessing it's Linus. Let me know if I'm wrong. Thank you for the follow, though. Yeah, I'm not going to get that crazy good forward to try and keep this team competitive. But Duclair and Barabanov, both on expiring deals, would be pretty nice. If I were to say I want both of them, all right, can't get them both at the same time. They aren't even interested in the deal for Duclair. Actually, I have a Chanot jersey. I'd love Tanner Chanot. I would fully expect him to end up being a Boston Bruin at some point in his career, just for the play style. I mean, he is the type of guy that just runs around and hits everything. Let's go over to the Sharks, who are not that good. Duclair was traded. Yeah, I don't want Tyler Johnson and 2/3 for Jeremy Swayman. Thank you, though. That's such a kind and generous offer. What's going on, man? Goddamn. All right, well, it's always unfortunate when someone that I wanted to acquire is no longer there. But if we look at the all available, we'll be able to find someone else. How am I on the new NHL? Again, I have an affiliation with EA, so I have it a day early. A day early. Again, Philip Deneau's got 4 years left. It might have to be David Perron. And there's nothing that I can really do. What about Verana? Nobody wants anything that I have to offer. Comes out at noon Eastern tomorrow. A 3rd and 4th for Barabanov, honestly, isn't that bad. I'll do that. Why not? Make the team a little bit better. Like I said, I want to try to keep the Bruins as competitive as possible. There's a freaking eyelash in my eye and I'm dying. So I'm in for Philip Deneau. No, thank you. No, thank you. I'd like to think the defense is good enough. The depth that we have. Barabanov helps that forward core a bit. Still a little bit worried. Honestly, we could still use somebody. But the question is who? Pittsburgh has made a trade with Montreal for Chris Weidman. Let's see. Well, if there wasn't a deal for Perron, we're good from a goaltending perspective. There wasn't a deal for Verana. Is there a deal for Tyson Barrie that's interesting? Frederick in a 5th? I'll say no to that. I want to keep Trent Frederick. Honestly, I think I've kind of accomplished what I wanted to accomplish at the deadline. We will go take a look to see, obviously, what trades happened and what it defines as blockbusters. Cal Clutterbuck. I'm willing to take Cal Clutterbuck. He's a big grinder on the team. I'm willing to do that. Let's take a look at what other deals went down. Do drafted players still not want to resign when team chemistry is off? Haven't gotten that far into it. I believe they worked on addressing that, but again, what they've aimed to do versus how things actually play out can be two different things. So that's where we're at right now. Quite a few first-round picks on the move. Quite a few, including Heinen and Anuin, but the value there would have, well, God, they got used to saying, yeah, Danton Heinen went for a 1st, 3rd, and a 5th too. That one's a little bit wonky. That one's a little bit wonky. Okay, TJ Tynan a fourth and a fifth just went for LA's first rounder. Uh-oh. Uh-oh, yay. This is, this could be a little bit concerning. Luke Shen, Gurionov for a first is a little bit more reasonable. Verana and Bortuzzo went for a second. Sprong went for a second. Duclair for Varlamov and Bolduc. Okay. Arvidsson went in a deal involving a first-round pick. Matt Roy as well. Gostisbehere went for a second, a third, and a prospect. Monahan went for Jesus. They got a first, Hanzik, and Stromgren from Monahan and a fifth. Dumba fetched a first and a prospect. Okay. Two things here, as I am now very, very much concerned. Also, apparently Jake DeBrusk is going to leave. For the record, this is how fast the speed's supposed to go offline now, which is better. If anything, it's supposed to be even faster than that, but it's supposed to go at least that fast. We go to Dallas. We look at TJ Tynan, who they immediately put in the minors, who had 22 points in 52 games. Okay, so trade logic. Trade logic might be a little bit faulty right now. Let's hope there's a day one patch for that. And the thing that I noticed about Ottawa is that they had a dude under contract, Torre. Is he actually under contract? Because it's not often that I don't recognize a name. Okay, Jabril Torre is under contract. Thank God. That's a UDFA. He signed 4 days ago. Thank God. I just wanted to make sure, because you got to remember, my PTSD is like, oh, good. Are they signing? Is this? I think this dude signed with them too. I'm just worried he is signed with them too. Okay, had to double check that. I'm worried about the AI signing garbage level players to fill out their roster instead of half decent players. And based on what we just saw with TJ Tynan, I'm pretty concerned. Flashy, thank you for the follow. Welcome to the madness.